welcome, folks, back to In the Spirit of Things. And yes, we are moving forward as usual. Thank you for everybody showing up tonight. It's going to be a fun ride. Anyways, everybody gets to ride for free tonight. It's a beautiful ride. Keep your hands close. We don't want you losing any limbs tonight. Anyways, folks, I'm excited. I have the beautiful Michelle here and brother John, and we're front and center to bring you a little bit of paradigm shift tonight. I'm feeling a little mellow today, folks, so probably won't be much in the way of a rant tonight. But anyways, I'm looking for continuity of flow tonight, and we're going to give it, and you're going to get it. Anyways, folks, Brother Michael and I have been doing some extremely heavy lifting over at privatist.me, and it's some beautiful stuff. Matter of fact, we did some heavy digging this week, and we actually created a new curriculum for everybody, and it is for everybody. Whatever seat you're sitting in, you want to go to get into one of the seats, because this is the direction of flow. After further talking with Brother Michael, I said, let me break this down a little simpler. We're going to do a Marine Corps training op. We're going to have in-service training class, and everybody's going to start getting the memo on a different level. So I wanted to give my brothers and sisters a little bit more direction of flow, and that's what you're going to get. So, folks, it's not that much of an uphill climb if you have some direction of flow. So this is where we were thinking. So if you haven't been over to the site lately, folks, massive paradigm shift, massive direction of flow. We're talking about status change, knowing who you are, moving forward on a parallel they don't want you to move forward on, but that's all right. We're going to share the love, because that's why it's private, at privatist.me, because that's what we do. And so based on that, folks, the direction of flow is beautiful, it's effective, and it's going to give you a lot more clarity in your mind onto, like I say, what's happened and what you can do, how to move forward without going to war. Like I say, folks, we're about the peace deal. It's all about peace. And sorry to hear OPPT sort of falling by the wayside, but folks, I believed, for a minute there, I was trying to help give them some direction of flow, but they really didn't want to talk to Brother Peter. Anyways, it is what it is. No diversions here, folks. Just direct to the point, facts, information, so that you can assess the information and process it correctly in your mind so that you can move forward. Because a clouded mind says no. I don't want clouded minds. That's why I say come to my house. Anyways, we're going to talk a little bit more about consent, because, folks, it is a deep, deep subject, because we give it over at every capacity in every way, and we've been consenting our entire lives, but just little bitty things that we don't understand that we're consenting, even when we are. And so we're going to cover the little tidbits, how you're giving over. Anyways, we're going to cover a little more about living a life on purpose and be the change you want to be. Also, I got Brother John at the front of the queue, because I want him to share the love, and Brother Michael and I are working with him intently to move him in the proper direction of flow. So, because we love our brother, and we don't want him getting chewed up by the machine, and he is standing fast in the breach effectively, going to peace and honor, and they don't know what to do with that. Our Canadian brothers and sisters up there, like I say, John has shook the tree on a different level, but not in an adversarial way. Like I say, it's about going to peace, going to love, going to harmony. He stands in the breach as a man, as a real man, and that's the whole point of the exercise, because they think we're all dead entities. Well, John's proved different, and Brother Michael's proved differently. I have as well. So, folks, we're about direction of flow. We're about the truth, and we're about bringing it to you so that you don't have to think real hard, but at the same time, you do have to think, and you do have to carry a little bit of your own water, because freedom with responsibility starts with you. I can't do all the heavy lifting for you. We've done an incredible amount of heavy lifting this past week, and for my brothers and sisters across the pond, you're going to be real excited, because Thursday we're bringing forward the international package, and pretty much can be used in any country to effectively neutralize third-party bottom feeders. And, folks, I do call them bottom feeders for a reason, because they have no business even coming to your house. They have no business sending you garbage through the mail, because you don't have a contract with them. And on top of that, the original creditor already got paid. For those who haven't seen the 12-minute video that's posted on our site, please go take a look at it. It will give you a direction of flow in short order so you understand that once the first guy got paid, you shouldn't be paying anybody else. Otherwise, that's called theft by deception. That's called fraud, straight up, right on its face. But they're waiting for you to take an action. They're waiting you to remove the presumption. And that's all it is, folks. It's dead simple. It's stupid simple. This is how you get to move forward. So don't stand fast. Don't stand in a weak position. Come over. Like I say, we educate. This is what we do. We have MP3s already downloaded. How to effectively put the package information. Yep. And folks, probably never going to sell it for $300. I'm just going to give it away because I love third-party deck collectors that much. I've come to a jumping off point, and yeah, I could sell it all day long. Folks, I'm not selling anything. I want everybody to get the package. So you know what? Everybody's going to get the package. So my Australian brothers, my UK brothers, my Belgian brothers, my Italian brothers, yes, and we're going to even do Google Translator for documents for our brothers in foreign countries. You know why? Because we can, and that's where I live. Hey, you know, I'm just trying to share the love. I'm trying to peel back this nasty onion that's rotten all the way to the core so you don't have to get, victimized, folks, and I hate to use that word, victimize, because we do so by consent. We fail to stand in the breach. We fail to meet the minimum requirement to remove a presumption, and that's all we're doing on the third-party thing. So, folks, the whole point of the exercise of the third-party thing is basically this. It's stupid simple because that's the way I made it, and effectively it's your bridge. It's your starting point. So if you can go with a little tiny step to get your mind right to move forward, and I'm going to show you irrevocably with proof that you can prove to yourself that you can make this go away, make these third-party bottom feeders go away where I'll never see the inside of a court. Yeah, y'all from the Show Me State, and that's good. I want you, so let me show you. So come on down. Don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of, and that's the whole point. When I found out what was really going on 8 years ago, when I was getting my brakes beat off, I was really angry. But at the same time, I says, once I knew what I knew, it allowed me to move forward, but not in fear. But I knew straight up that they didn't have a pot to pee in and a window to throw it out of. So that's the beauty of when you understand concepts and you understand the knowledge and you understand the truth and you act upon it, it's a win-win proposition, and it really does work. But, it's going to be up to you to do a little heavy lifting. I've already done the documents for y'all, so it's up to you if you want to put them in play. If not, you can stand back in a neutral position via consent and let them steal more because, the fact is, they already got paid. That's the sad part. So to lay down and take it, that makes you a victim, and that's not a good place to be, and you don't never have to be there. So, hey, don't believe a thing I say. You can stand fast and neutral. That's your option. Or you can move forward, folks, because that's what we do. We educate. We want you to be competent to handle your matters forthwith. They think you're an imbecile. They think you're an infant. They have you statusized as and classified as a dead entity. That's why they want That's why they want you to hire a lawyer. Anyways, gee, I didn't think I was going to rant. What the hell happened here? I just got switched gears. Anyways, long story short, folks. Go over to privates.me. We've given it a whole face change. Matter of fact, I would like Michelle to give a little before I get Johnny on. I know Michelle had a chance that she's attention to detail to the extreme, and she liked the direction we were going. Michelle, are we doing a little heavy lifting to help our brothers and sisters move forward?
Most definitely. Of course you guys are. And you're doing it, look, again, it's in my opinion, and whatever I say is always going to be my opinion. It's not a debate, and I might anger some people in what I say. And from where I live, where I'm coming from, that's a good thing, because it means that perhaps I have shaken some of that mental matter up there and gotten people to ask questions and to think a bit for themselves. But what I see you and Michael doing is absolutely beneficial and absolutely based in right action energies. The other systems, I guess if we can call them that I was sort of looking into on and off for about 3 years before I found privatist.me, I I don't know why I would just look into a system and then sort of back away from it, and dive back into, my spiritual pursuits, and all the while having work and life going on, and then I would sort of drop the spiritual stuff and get back into the real life, claiming personal dominion, call it sovereignty if you wish, looking into those aspects. And I just never could align myself with what others were offering, because I realized it wasn't in alignment with me, and that I did not want to align myself with what was being offered, because I felt that the energy was it wasn't right for me. And so when I found you and Michael, I paid attention. I remember calling up. You were on a rant.
Not Peter. Come on, not me. Moi? My goodness, not me.
You were spinning this most beautiful vortex of just anger and frustration, but from such a beautiful place of not understanding why people weren't getting what it is that you're offering. And I remember I called you up.
Yeah, I know. And you neutralized the beast.
I guess so. And, it wasn't my intention. I just wanted to call you up and encourage you, and look what that got me.
Yeah, I got you in a world of trouble. Now you're hanging out with me.
Exactly.
But I love it.
And that I think that led to a couple of my own rants. The last couple of shows I was going off about all this. I think I called it. Did I actually call it spirituality crap? When people just get locked into a certain mindset and just stop right there. Like that's the be all and end all, and they just stop there. And I sort of figured, look, I'm on this river, and look, it's going that way. So I'm going to find out where it takes me. And I just sort of figured that all these things, all these diversions were like those eddies that form at the river's bank, at the edge of the river.
Yep.
It's sort of like a re-entry circuit of water, sort of a vortex. The water goes around and around and around. And some people can get stuck there, whether it's a spiritual pursuit or a political pursuit or an economic pursuit or call it an attachment, any attachment of any kind. And I don't want to be there. I want to see where this goes. I want to flow with the whole thing. And I think that's my place ultimately.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Well, it's, 25 years of me chasing my tail, so to speak, but it really wasn't chasing my tail. It was uncovering, and I knew I had to in order to get to the other side, I had to go through all the roads I did, whether it be, like I say, Code of Federal Regulations, statutes at large, negotiable instruments laws, Uniform Commercial Code, all these busy insanities that I got binded up into, the bond issue, all this stuff. It all had a tie-in. It was layers of the onion, and I had to go through all the layers. And then I followed the money trail. Then I followed the incestuous relationships between all these so-called corporate whores, entities. They're all binded at the hip, and they don't talk about things like anything of substance. They don't want to tell my brothers and sisters that they don't have to die for a lie with cancer. They don't want to expose the modalities that they can't patent, because then, we're going to lose some money. Well, folks, if that's their heart and their intent, that's pretty damn evil from where I live, because I thought we were all supposed to be for each other. We were supposed to be sharing common spirits, common hearts, to bring our brothers to the other side.
Yeah, but Peter, most people don't know that yet.
Oh, gee. Well, they need to get my memo. They need to go over to my house, and the memo's over there on the cancer page.
Can I interject here?
Go ahead, John.
Pete, what I love about you is you're always improving, and you're always listening, and you're always trying to help. And we were mentioning the site there and the improvements that are in it. And what I'm finding now, absolutely beautiful, and what people need to know is this is almost like the the building of where to learn how to be free, how to act free. You know what I mean? It's all there. And when we started this stuff, it was very scattered, this information. It was very hard to get, let alone, where to start, how to start, what to get free first, and to know how we got here and all that. And now we have this all completely together, and this is just new. So for any listeners that are listening right now, that they've actually set it up exactly now, 1 to 8 points where you're supposed to start, how we got here, establishing your status and your rights, and establishing how to deal with debt and how to deal with the government, the IRS and all this kind of stuff. And then we've got the videos and all the audio and stuff like this now that is training you. So, yeah, you are going to have to get an education. There is work to be put in, to learn this stuff because there's so much deprogramming to do. But at least now there's a portal where you can go and actually get all this information and not, well, where am I going to get this next piece and how am I going to learn this part now? It's all here in one stop now, and beautiful job, Pete and Mike. It's just, really excellent. I was very impressed when I seen this the other day, and just wanted to make that little comment for people to know, if
Thank you.
And that was just within the past week or couple of days.
Yeah, exactly.
I noticed on privatist.me that Michael did a lot of really impressive work on just bringing a lot of cohesion. It's it's synchronous. Just everything flows, and there's order. There's pattern to it, and I don't want to make a comparison, but in the other things that I was looking into over the past couple of years, whoops, somebody's car alarm. Do you hear that outside?
No, yeah.
Sorry for that.
That's all good. That's all right.
Welcome to my major metropolis here.
Yep.
So that is what was lacking in the other systems that I was looking into. It was just like a fragment of information, and it seems that different people were offering different fragments, but what you and Michael are doing, it's okay. Here are many pieces of the puzzle, and okay, now you can see it with a different perspective. Almost like those 3D visual optical illusion puzzles, where you stare at it, and if you relax your eye muscles, then there's something that will come into focus. And then you'll see an image of whatever, an elephant or something like that. It's like that's what you guys have done. Like all the different fragments are there. The puzzle is being built, if not completely built, and you're starting to see that picture.
Yep. Yeah, the canvas is actually starting to get completed. That's the scare. I'm scaring the hell out of myself. I mean, I don't know where all this is coming from. It's like it's this direction of flow. It's like, okay, I'm just a conduit, and Michael does a lot more of the heavy lifting than I do. Folks, I'm just sort of the mouthpiece on all this, but I do tie in with Brother Michael. We do banter back and forth in the creation mode because we both come from a deep well. We both have covered these issues of the day. We've both been digging, and then we didn't realize how simple it really was until it started becoming very apparently clear over the last 12 months. It's not complex. It really is not. We've made it complex, but yeah, there's a little bit of heavy lifting, but it's not a lot. And so I just told Michael, I said, you know what? Okay, we're going to have to go back to the military paradigm. Folks, the reason I say the military, because they're really good at dumbing stuff down. Okay, when I trained my brothers in arms to get the memo for compound fractures, pneumothoraxes, and all these other medical modalities, I had to break it down to a simplistic, digestible, eat the elephant one scoop at a time paradigm so they could get the memo. Because if Peter took a bullet, he's not going to be patching up a whole hell of a lot of people. So I said, well, I've got to make them competent at my level to at least administer to their brothers and sisters who bring them out the other side in some functional capacity. So this is what I did. So I like to do, I call it heavy lifting, and folks, it's where I live. Okay, it's a natural progression for me to do the heavy lifting because I can break it down. My mind works in chunks. Okay, everybody else's minds out there as well works in chunks. So I said, okay, we're going to break this down into chunks again. And folks, yeah, we're going to probably rehash and break it down into some more chunks as we go. We are a work in progress, but we have direction of flow. We have real good continuity, and this is where we want you to live. This is where we want to help you get your mind right, because a clouded mind does say no. You operate in fear because the only reason you operate in fear is because you don't know. But when you know, it's a beautiful thing, because that's the empowering part of being knowledgeable and being competent. So it won't be tricks is for kids hour anymore. That's the point. See, that's what scares the living crap out of these clowns at the circus, that we're all going to wake up and they're going to say, oh, we don't have no more power. Yeah, well, tough shit. Go get a real job, you sorry schmuck. You're just a bottom feeder. I mean, they're making victims out of my brothers and sisters because of my brothers and sisters falling asleep at the wheel. So, folks, this is sort of the wake-up call, and I'll help bring you out the other side. Come to my house. You got to come to the house, because until you do, you're sitting on the wrong side of the fence, and they're going to nuke you where you live. And they don't love you. They don't care about you. They don't want you to rise above it. They want you to stay stupefied and zombified and get the blood sucked out of you like a vampire until you're just an empty vessel, a shell of a man with nothing left. Folks, that's not what you were born to be. We're all special. We're all independent in our own right. We all have the right to live life on purpose, not to just be arbitrarily mulling through day to day to day to day, and literally it's numbing the brain. Folks, I know a little bit about numbing the brain. I was in the military, so you sometimes have to decompress in certain methodologies to deal with pain, because you see a lot of ugly stuff. You got to decompress. Anyways, folks, we are moving forward on a different level. Go over to the site. It's had a massive facelift, and you'll get the memos. You'll get our memos every week. We do the classes. We do the educational MP3s. Even if you miss a class, you get the access to information, because that's how you're going to become competent in your own right. So, anyways, I'm excited because, like I say, it's really taking on a whole another stellar uprising, so to speak, in a positive way. And it really is about going to peace, not going to war, folks. That paradigm is not where you want to live. The fighting, the arguing, the suing, all that stuff. I know what they do are dirty deeds. I'm well aware of the dirty deeds. However, on that being said, that shift between your ears, when you decompress and you go to the other side and you go in peace, it removes all the air, oxygen out of their room, thereby allowing you to move forward, because there is no negative energy being expounded upon the issue at hand. Anyways, I'm done ranting. I don't know, John, where are we at, i.e. you, me, and Canada, on showing the love with your children?
Well, as you know, we sent out a formal letter to the Defense Minister of Canada now, and we're still waiting to hear back on that, and we'd be quite surprised if we do. But by law, they are supposed to respond to us. And at this point, we're going to have to take next steps to get our children. As you know, our next step is to file habeas corpus and get our children released immediately and start a trial, hopefully within the next, we're working hard at the moment, getting this all together to file a claim. So, we're going to keep on going through peace, and we're going to keep on, shedding the light on this, and we're not going to stop, they want nothing more than for me to get a lawyer and to contract with them, and, they've threatened me now, saying that they wouldn't let me see the children unless I come in to speak to them. So I'm going to use that as an advantage as well, and we're going to go in there with our ID and all our recorders, and we're going to state who we are again, and, all this kind of stuff, and continue to stay who we are, because we can't admit to being something that we're not now, can we?
No.
Oh.
And exactly, right. To folks, and this is the whole point, because this is all they know how to do, is to pressure us to do acts, i.e., and that it no longer becomes free will, act, and deed, folks. We'll cover free will before this show gets over. Folks, when somebody has to, when Brother Peter was standing at a roadside stop with Louisiana's finest, and they have to put their hands on their guns to force me to comply with signing a document. That's no longer free will, folks. That's a okay, for lack of a better term, that's a molestation. It's a harassment. It's like a rape. It's like a psychological rape. I mean, when somebody gets, yeah, of course I'm going to sign whatever the hell you want when you got guns. You're fixing to put, folks. That's not voluntary. That's not a voluntary consent. That's not voluntary consent in any way, shape, or form. Anyways, I'm not going to get too excited. But folks, I'm just trying to give you.
It's coercion. It's terrorism. It's you know what I mean. It's
yeah.
So and we will state that before we have any meeting, and we will record it on record who we are before we say anything to these monsters, as I call them. These people that can actually do this kind of thing. And but this is we'll just use it as more evidence of us never consenting to their jurisdiction, never consenting to being under their corporate laws or any of this other kind of jurisdiction. So it's quite the package we're putting together. I can't believe these people are continuing to violate us like this, and but it seems that the education is a little further behind here in New Brunswick, so we're bringing the education.
Yeah, one man, one heart. Go figure. Hey, folks, they expect we don't have a heart. That's where we're all supposed to live, in the heart. Like I say, living life on purpose, doing, operating it with your free will act and deed to affect your brothers and sisters around you, because we rise above it, and this is where we're supposed to. I know a lot of people do good deeds out there, but some of it with attachments to it. Folks, I go looking for something good to do every day. I want to do at least one good thing that I can affect somebody's life in just some way, some positive that it lets me know that they're alive, and it lets them know I'm alive. And that's where we're supposed to be living. We're missing this whole event called life. We've been neutralized. We've gone to sleep, folks. This is a wake-up call. It really is. I tell you, I like where we're going, folks, and we can all go together. We can all reach out, and we can all hold each other's hand, and we can move forward. I've had my shift. I'm in flux. I'm in a major change in my heart, my mind, my spirit. Beautiful things are happening all around me. I'm living life on purpose for a change instead of getting stuck in a negative paradigm in my head and whining and crying and whatever. Be the change you want to be, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So that's what I would like to share with my brothers and sisters over at privatist.me. I mean, folks, this may sound like, I'm just trying to get you over. Well, folks, you got to start somewhere. What we talk about is the deep end of the pool. It's really the valid information. It's the stuff that nobody else is talking about in the world. So when do we come together? When do we stand fast? When do we draw our lines in the sand? So in order to do that, you have to affect a change between the ears and the eyes. A friend of mine used to call me a mullet. Folks, if you don't know what a mullet is, that's a fish with no eyes. I didn't know what the hell he meant by it, but I sure as hell understand now because, I was blind to what was going on up to a certain point myself. I hadn't pulled back the veils. And speaking of veils, Sister Michelle sent a beautiful video, which is over on our site. It's called The 8 Veils. Folks, most people don't get past the first 2 veils. It's only 15 minutes, but y'all might want to go take a look at it. It's over on our YouTube page. Michael posted it this week. So
he put it under the category of paradigm shift. It's the one video that's there, and it's called Slavery and the 8 Veils, and it's 15 minutes, beautiful music from the movie, As a Fountain, which is a great movie to watch for a paradigm shift also. And it sort of describes basically it describes what you have to know right now, I think. If you're listening to this show, this is what you have to know.
Yeah, it's sort of like Changes on the Horizon Part 2. That's a nice, good curtain puller backer. It's an excellent history lesson as well as all wars are bankers' wars, folks. Like I say, this sort of eats my lunch because I bought the paradigm. I bought the Patriot game. I stepped into the military, did 10 years in, And I bought the lie. I bought it lock, stock, and barrel because my eyes weren't quite open. I didn't understand that my brothers and I were going forward on a level. Anyway, we were lied to. We were putting our ass in the game, getting our butts blowed up, while these Congress critters create these games, and they're getting hypothecation events off the masses. By the way, folks, all my brothers that go to the boneyard in the military in wartime issues, the government's collecting a nice $10 million stipend on everyone. But they got to get paid back. Well, folks, there's nothing to pay it with. It's all a hypothecation event. Folks, if you haven't seen my 2-hour overview on bonds on that page, you might want to go take a look at the bonds. Folks, it sort of peels back the curtain, and everything's a hypothecation event, as well as that 14-page PDF, birth certificate securitization scam, and it'll give you the nickel tour and give you clarity as to how everything's a hypothecation event. There's nothing of substance in this system. The only thing of substance in the system is us. We are good as gold. We are AU. It's us. And they've manipulated us. They've used propaganda to the extreme to get us to buy off on these false ideologies. So for my brothers and sisters who have lost their lives, I'm not against my brothers in the military. The sad part is some of them are pulling the curtain back. Some of them do know the truth, and they've taken an action in the proper capacity once they knew. But folks, I got lied to real good. But I wasn't afraid to pull the curtain back to see the real truth. Yep, all wars are bankers' wars. It's a 45-minute overview, folks, and it'll give you a history lesson in a condensed overview it'll blow you away. No pun intended, by the way. Anyways, Michelle, I was moving on.
Just a bit of a rant. That's okay.
But I love it. I said I was mellow when I started.
I know.
Folks, I only have one speed. I'm in overdrive, folks, or I'm asleep. It's one of the two, I think.
No, I think you have two speeds. It's machine gun and off.
Folks are picking on me. They're hurting my feelings. I need all my listeners to come to my rescue.
You got to always remember, you're perfectly Pete. We're all perfectly who we need to be. You're perfect. Never forget that.
You're right.
Any other way. But I would like to shift a bit, Peter, if that's okay with you and John.
Go, please.
Okay, there's a book that I've been looking into lately. The author is Paul Levy, Levy, and the title is Dispelling Wetiko, Wetiko, Breaking the Curse of Evil. He wrote a previous book, Wetiko, the greatest epidemic sickness known to humanity, but it seems this book is sort of an expansion on his original ideas. Wetiko is a term that comes from indigenous North American Indians, and it's parasite of the mind. And I'd like to quote here from his book: "There is a psycho-spiritual disease of the soul that originates within ourselves and that has the potential either to destroy our species or to wake us up, depending on whether or not we recognize what it is revealing to us."
Yep.
And he goes on to say that we are in the midst of a collective psychosis of titanic proportions. I love how he writes. He is an artist with words. He elucidates these ideas, and you just read and you understand intuitively almost what it is he's expressing, as though it's your very own idea. He says, "Our madness has weirdly become normalized to the point where we don't even notice it." And in the book he describes that he had experienced quite severe trauma, both emotional and I guess spiritual abuse at the hands of his father. And at one point he had a breakdown, and he found himself in a psychiatric ward. And he says, "When I told my psychiatrist that I thought my mission in this world was to spread the message of love, she prescribed me an antipsychotic."
Wow.
Yeah. And
you tell the truth and come clean and be real, and they don't know how to deal with real, so they want to chemicalize it. That's special.
Mm-hmm. And then later on he says, because he recognized that he was actually having this spiritual awakening, but everybody else outside didn't understand that. And he quotes the late Harvard psychiatrist, Dr. John Mack. He shared his definition of being crazy. It's not knowing who to tell or not to tell what you're experiencing. So I thought that was very interesting. And he says later, Paul Levy says, I was still learning how to express my experiences in a way that didn't upset the apple cart of consensus reality. And that the psychiatrists were like the high priests of a modern scientific religion, which had invested in them by the power of the state the ability to deem who was sane and to doom who was insane. And he gets into the hallowed diagnostic manual, the DSM. Anyway, that's a whole different subject there. I want to get to the meat of... That's funny, eh? Speaking as a vegan, talking about meat. He says... he says, my unique personal process was a reflection of a deeper archetypal process woven into the fabric of the macrocosm. Seeing this correspondence is in the service of lucidity, for to realize the isomorphism between these multiple levels of reality, inner and outer, personal and universal, is to begin to realize that the entire multiverse, both microcosmically and macrocosmically, is enfolded within itself in such a way so as to be reflecting back something to us within ourselves. This is to step through the doorway into the miracle of self-reflective, lucid awareness. Seeing this bigger picture, we are dispelling the curse of Wetiko, and my words for Wetiko are mind hack or guided awareness, but in the bad way, that has befallen our planet by healing our own psychic blindness. As is true for each of us as well, the symbolic events that were literally transpiring in my life were a synchronistic reflection and revelation of a living process deep within myself. It was as if everything that was playing out with my father within the field of psychiatry, and for that matter, in every aspect of my life, was communicating to me through the symbolic dimension of my awareness, which is the same part of me that dreams my dreams at night. The spirit that animates synchronicities, if we can speak of such immaterial matters, is the same spirit which inspires our dreams at night. I was beginning to realize that the same deeper dreaming self that dreams our dreams at night is dreaming our lives. Though my close call with psychiatry almost drove me crazy and nearly killed me, I have learned something through my ordeal, an insight so profound that it can't be repeated often enough. How things turn out depends upon how we dream them. And I'm going to say that last line again.
Okay.
How things turn out depends upon how we dream them. And I think that's very important. And I keep coming back to that. That I, in my life, am creator of my experience. I dance with universe and it guides me. Does that make sense?
Yep. It's nice.
John, you want to chime in? Well, yeah, I totally understand synchronicity, especially now, you are given what you need even when you think you don't need it sometimes. And I like that. What was it? Dancing with the universe.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what I mean. How more poignant can you be than that? I mean, that's what we're striving to do. We're striving to get to that point. Each of us are all looking to get to that point where we're dancing in the universe instead of, being in this chaotic mind mess that we've been lured into, by nefarious ones who wish to control and keep us, to the levels of automatons. It's a lot easier to keep these people working and making everyone else money. And people are forgetting, like, we're being paid in paper. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like paper. It's paper. It's not just gold or silver anymore. It's paper. Like
and even gold and silver. Why is it so valuable? It's arbitrary.
At least that's limited. There's only so much on the planet. But,
what
paper,
about,
you can
carbon
continue on any
graphite.
planet you want, you know what I mean? And just keep on printing and printing and printing. How many counterfeiters are out there? I'm not even talking about just the government, you know what I mean? That's just... You know what I mean? Like,
sure,
wow.
But why is blonde hair somehow more desirable?
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. We shouldn't have any system like that. Exactly. I just think it's so ludicrous. At least at one time we had gold. You know what I mean? And now we settle for paper. That's how much the con has taken over. Like,
I mean, how gullible, right?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, I can't even eat that $20. I can't eat it.
Okay. Hey, let me broach something real quick. I'm going to cut in just for a second. I just got this across my desk today. I guess it's in Syria. Anyways, folks, you're going to love this. This is really special. Okay, with one fell swoop. Oh my God, folks! I'm having an aneurysm. It's all good.
Bring it.
This is an IMF-run country, and their whores at the top of the pecking order gave them over, and now they're all making a bank run in this country, folks. Because guess what? Their whores done to them. They colluded with the IMF to put the rate directly on the backs of the people at 6.75% off of everything that's in their bank account. Folks, oh boy, yeah, you want to push me over the edge? Let's have a new hypothecation game. Folks, that's what it is, 6.75%. And the people are really pissed, and they still say they're liable even if they pull their money out. You know what, folks? Don't even get me started. Now I'm
Peter, don't even get me started. I live in the province, I live in the state/province of North America that is the highest tax. We have a 5% goods and services tax. On every good and on every service, it's 5%. But then on top of that 5%, I am charged an extra 9.975% for the provincial sales tax. It's just...
Isn't that special?
The word that comes to mind is usury.
Yes.
Yes.
And folks,
but that's to keep us down. That is to keep us enslaved. And these people that propose. Peter, you and I had a conversation the other day about different systems that people were setting up, financial, economic systems for commerce, for trade, and I'm just mentally I'm at the point where if there is commerce for the sake of commerce, it doesn't line up with me. If, however, this is a bit way up there, but it has to do with doing what we're here to be doing. And if how can I explain this? I jump to action when I see that my action is required.
Right.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Remember we were talking about in a moment, we know in that moment what is required. It's in that space of and it comes to you. For example, you were saying about that accident, and you just jump to action.
Right.
I do that too in my life. When I see that I'm required to do something, I do it. I don't question, I don't doubt. That is when I am in full alignment with what it is I'm here to do. It's that whole concept of upward causation, downward causation, and I become the vehicle. I am but the vehicle.
Yeah.
John, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I am but the vehicle. I like that.
Big topic, eh? They're
big topic today.
Huge subjects to shove into these tiny, clunky, inadequate words. We don't even have the words to express these
that
things.
we've been taught, that we find out through history, to limit us even more, because
Exactly.
back in the day it used to be more of picture language and stuff like this, which is 1,000 words, and now we've been down to in this country 26 letters, and and each one of these hold powers as well for the shapes they're in and all this kind of stuff, also used to keep us controlled and keep us dumbed down.
Well, they create the scam in USA Inc., folks. Forced compliance to buy a product you don't damn want. Obamacare. Give me a freaking break. It's just another tax, folks. That's all it is. Snap out of it. Hello.
You are free to do as we tell you.
I just pulled up this article. Cyprus rue bailouts deals, banks deposits levy. Cyprus depositors line up to withdraw funds after EU IMF. Folks, you know what I call the IMF? And it's not some pretty words. I got some adjectives that I want to put on those, because individual mother, you know what, folks. Just put 2 + 2 = 4. How does that grab you? Because that's what they're doing to my brothers and sisters in commerce. It's a scam. 6.75% off the top. And because we arbitrarily decided, well, they need to be hanging these suckers from the longest yardarm off a Navy pier. That's what they need to be, because their upper crust of the scab has sold them down the river to steal and hypothecate off their backs because they said so. Yeah, well, everybody needs to do what Iceland did. That's what we need to do. All their bankers, they went bye-bye, and so did their upper crust of the scab. They went bye-bye too. If we followed what Iceland did, and folks, that's what it's going to probably take. Because when the crap quotient gets so high, how much more crap can you eat before when they take 100% of everything and it's gone? I got a friend of mine up in New York. 50% of that party's paycheck gets pulled out before they even see it. 50%. Isn't that special, folks? So you're funding your own demise on top of that. Anyways, we're going to create alternatives, folks. We're already working on it, Michael and I, and but you got to be in private because we can't do it in public because they'll beat our brakes off. So that's why I went to private. So, anyways, I'm getting excited because when I see this crap, it makes my blood boil because it's just a nefarious act. But at least their sheeple are going to pull all their funds out. But they're having a nice bank run over there in Cyprus. I guess that's in Syria. I guess. Anyways, folks. When you're next, when are you going to draw the line in the sand? Anyways, these poor bastards.
But the thing is, they can't pull out their funds because there are not enough funds to pull out. Because the bank, once you deposit a certain amount of money, they lend out 10 times, I think, that amount. So there's not enough money in the bank. There is no money in banks. There's no money in banks.
Well, let me give the nickel tour on everybody that signs up for a bank account, folks. That's why I pulled out of the system in 1995. I'm going to give you the nickel tour. It's really simple. You gave it over. Read the damn contract. I read it. I don't mean to be barking here, but folks, nobody reads anything. That's why they don't know anything. So you know what? This is where the paradigm shift comes. If you read at the bottom of it in here, USA Inc., it says that the IRS has the right to come in and steal everything you've got, and you're giving over by your signature. You gave it over. This is why I said, nah, that doesn't really fit for Brother Peter's paradigm. So you know what? Have a big cup. That's what I'm saying. Folks, I'm going to light you on the big cup by the end of the show.
Oh, okay. So we're going to get into the story of the big cup towards
towards the end of the show. I won't go into it now, but I want to let everybody in on my joke. It's a beautiful joke. You're going to love it, folks. Anyways.
Well, the great thing about evil, Peter, is it always plants its own seed of destruction. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. That's what's happening right now. You say, when are people going to take enough is enough and stuff like that. And some people, it's like us, it's not going to take much before we jump. And some people, it's going to take a lot more, you know what I mean, before they jump. But eventually, people are going to wake up and they're going to be like, whoa, there's got to be something better than this. This is ridiculous. And, and we're seeing it every day, right? We're seeing the numbers grow more and more and more. People are being aware. We're supposedly having a cosmic consciousness boost as well that's helping us. So, right down to our DNA, like it is part of what we are to express ourselves past this negativity and all this kind of stuff. So,
yes.
it's
yes.
getting there. It takes time. We wish it would be quicker, but we're here because we wanted to be here to see this, because it is an exciting time. We have to sometimes look outside of all the what's going on the surface level and kind of look at it from a higher perspective and see it as what it is, of the experience of life, and good or bad, it is all part of the background to your existence and to your experience to take on to your next life. We are immortal, believe it or not, no matter what they tell you.
This is my last one, though.
This is your last one here?
I think I came to that knowing this is my last time, so I'm going to go out with a bang on this one.
Gonna try Galactic 9 in the Quantum section or something next time?
No idea. But I wrote something down, John, in a moment of silence a few days ago. It just came to me. And I'd like to read it. The darkness is an opportunity for us to realize our power in transmuting it.
Exactly.
So I see it as an opportunity. It's there if I choose it. It is there, waiting, receptive, open, and I can run away from it if I want. But it just seems that the laws of how things work will have that thing kind of following me quietly until it wants my attention, and if I have a problem, usually what people do, I think, is they ignore it, they run away from it, but I recognize that problem is mine. Energetically, it belongs to me, and in it is something very precious if I choose to face it. And it's in facing it that I dissolve the fear, right? It's that paradox of going through your fear. And
it's what makes you grow as well. You know what I mean? Once you face it and overcome it, you're further pulled along. What was I told there? I don't know if you've heard of Bob Bashar or anything like that, but he mentioned one. Okay, he mentioned basically the further you're pulled into the darkness, like an elastic, it is how far you're shot back into the light after you've overcome that darkness. You know what I mean? So it's
and man, have I ever plunged in my life.
Yes, exactly, right?
Well, hey, speaking of light, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, see that light coming from the other side? It's a train. Anyways, and this train has left the station. Welcome aboard. No, it's not the last stop to Camp FEMA. Anyways, yeah, I just thought I'd bring that up. Most people don't even know that the Camp FEMA stuff exists, but we're not about the fear. We're about the truth. So, anyways, we won't busy ourselves with that at this point. Anyways, I'm sort of sidetracked here. Anyways, Michelle.
That's okay. We were discussing. John and I were kind of getting into the topic of the problem being mine. It's an energy form. It comes to me, and when I recognize it as such, and I go through that paradox of facing the fear, and in facing the fear, it dissolves immediately because I then exhibit my courage, which was there all along anyway.
Yep.
The fear is an opportunity for me to show myself my courage, because otherwise there's no way to know that I actually have courage.
Exactly.
So when I face that problem, the initial thing that I have to remember is there are two things. I can be in action mode or in reaction mode. Reaction mode would have me running away instinctively in a programmed way, running away from the problem.
Yep.
Action mode means I'm in dominion of my energies. I recognize that there is a space, I have created a space, and I recognize an opportunity. So when I allow that for myself, and it all happens simultaneously, so long as I recognize, so long as I have an awareness of what's going on. I recognize the fear, and in recognizing it, I dispel it. It dissolves. And then I look at the problem for what it is, and it's hardly anything. And in that entire process, for my life, 90%, 95% of the problem has resolved itself just by addressing the fear that is there. It's not the problem that is to be feared, it's the fear that is to be feared. And this is our mind hack. This is our programming to experience fear, to not know our power, to not know our courage. What do you think, John?
Yeah, exactly. I believe, you know what I mean, that we are. You can either. Some people believe we are the particle of all that is. Some people believe we are all seeds of gods, basically. You know what I mean, experiencing. But either way, we're here to experiencing something more limited than what we truly are. You know. Mm-hmm. We've I was given a little example one time. Someone said to me, if you're on the planet, you know, for immortal, you're basically immortal, and you wanted to travel the countries and stuff like that and go around the world, how would you get there? And you'd probably walk, because what's the rush, right?
I put my thumb out.
And I figured that basically that's what we are. We're this high force energy, intelligent energy that comes here to forget what we are, to experience these low energies and to conquer them. And it is, you know, part of our spiritual development is how I look at it. Or it could be just a game. We don't know, you know what I mean? All it is could be, you know, a psychopath for all we know. You know, because, you know, supposedly it is all created by the one, is it not? So are we not here to experience something that is, well, a lot of people say, an illusion? No?
Yes, and we are the dream. I am the dreamer. I am the dream, and all of you are in it. You know?
Exactly.
But for me, it's all hearsay until I actually experience some kind of, until I'm given a fragment, until I reach for a fragment and that fragment comes to me, in the sense that pulling back the veil to see the mechanics of how the universe works, pulling back the veil to see what the actual laws in place are. And I don't think I can ever come to understand these, because, you know, call it Great Spirit, call it universal source, call it God, call it the organizing intelligence. I like to call it the field. It's much greater than I am.
Yep.
And I can never understand it. It is not, and not only that, I don't think it's my place to understand it. Look, I would blow every single neuron in my brain if I understood
exactly,
it. Because
right,
I'm not even physically built to understand it. You know, how can you expect a mouse to, you know, create something like, I don't know, King Lear by Shakespeare? Really? Good luck.
Right,
I want to meet that rat. I want to meet that mouse. He's got some important information there. You know? And that's the thing. It just seems that truth is this commodity that we're lacking so much these days. And if I hear truth, I just like my
lies, exactly.
Exactly.
Limiting lies at that.
Well,
yes.
And you know, it's really come down to I found an article a couple of days ago, because I do look. I'm paying attention. Like I say, I don't buy myself up with the Mickey Mouse garbage, but at the same time, I'm paying attention. Hey, you got to love this. I forget where it was, but somebody gets a ticket from a revenue generation agent, folks, and that's all they are. And you're going to get your mind right when you like this one, because they were going 63 in a 65. And they got a ticket for going under the speed limit. So now we're giving tickets for under the speed limit. Oh, boy. Okay. Hey, that equates, to me, that equates to banana eating on Tuesday and Thursday. I mean, folks, it's not only naked acts of aggression. It's the tricks is for kids. And now we're creating a hypothecation event for no crime, no foul, no damaged property, no nothing. Do no harm, but hey, you were doing 63 and a 65. I mean, who's on crack here? I mean, what the, hey, folks, this is where I go sideways because I cannot believe that this crap is really acceptable and it's going down. I mean, it's like this is a reality check on a whole different level. So, anyways, I'm ranting, but I'm telling you,
I'd like to contribute, Peter. In my city, the police are now giving tickets for jaywalking.
Isn't that special?
Right. Maybe not everybody understands what jaywalking is, and I don't actually know the history of that expression. But if you come to an intersection and the light is red, technically, look, I'm speaking as a person who lives in the city that I live in. Technically, you're not supposed to cross, but if you look both ways and it's good, you can go. So. This is called jaywalking, though, because you have violated somehow, you have committed the crime of going against a red light. So they have started giving tickets now for that. And, I'll walk around in winter sometimes, and it was really cold a couple months ago around December, and it was like, minus 25, snow, blowing snow. And I would see people, and it's dark, and there were people waiting at a red light, nobody around, no cars, no traffic, not even pedestrians, but the person was waiting at the light. And I was like, this is insanity. And I'm a defensive walker as much as I am a defensive driver. Look, as much as I am a defensive speaker, I think. And I look left and right, I look behind me and in front of me, because it's gotten to the point where drivers now go down the wrong way on a one-way street. They're blowing through red lights now. It's, hey, welcome to the CDC's zombie apocalypse. But I have awareness, and I will use that awareness, and that awareness guides me. If I see it as safe to cross, I will cross. It'll be interesting if I do actually, if I'm the proud recipient of a ticket from a supposed peace officer this summer. I'll be interested how that's going to go down.
Yeah. Well, hey, I like that. Yeah, let's use that concept, peace officer, because they're getting a piece of you every time they give you a ticket, folks. That's what that's what I call a peace officer. Yeah, getting a piece of you. Yeah, the hypothecation event is upon us, folks. Yeah. No, not only the zombie apocalypse, but the brain damage actually believe that they're liable. Anyways, I come across
so
all
many
these
rants. Which one to choose, Peter?
Yeah. So many rants, so little time. What the hell? I kill myself. Folks, hey, you got to have fun on this show. We are about getting some yucks, because, folks, it's laughable. It's really laughable. But it's not a laughable
you can drive
event
yourself
when
insane if you take it personally, Pete?
Folks, deductive reasoning skills and logical thought process has left the playing field. I mean, my goodness, when you can't make a logical decision for yourself based upon assessing a issue, and they're saying, well, we didn't give you permission to think. That's the dumbing down, folks. That's the part. We didn't give you permission. We'll tell you what to think, and we'll tell you how much to think of it. I mean, give me a freaking break. Y'all, what a bunch of crackheads. I'm telling you, they've been smoking off the same damn pipe all together, one big pow-pow.
But that's it. It's, this collective psychosis. And, anyone who questions it immediately gets put into isolation, and they are treated and, put into a mental, spiritual, physical quarantine of sorts, so that we don't infect the others, right?
Right. Well, no. See, but that only applies to the chattel property. Yeah, that's only the chattel property that's on the slave plantation. I'm not there, so hey, that's what they do in the courts now, folks, on every level. Sorry, Michelle, I just got to rant on this just for a second because this is matter of fact, you had stated so succinctly in that deal you were just reading shortly ago about that they can, at the swoop of a pen, the state can friggin' create a, whether you're sane or not insane. Hey, screw you. You know what? That's
right.
Hey, folks, and here we come back. Okay, now I'm going to take this to ground. This is really simple because you have an estate, folks, guess what? You're the dead entity. Become the living beneficiary and get off the friggin' slave plantation. That's how that works. Anyways, hey, I thought I had my 2 cents. Gee, go figure. It's all about the estate. Yeah, folks, look at, we have these 50 states in USA Inc. Just put a freaking E on it. See if they would put an E on front of it, then everybody would know the jig was up. It was an estate, just like W-2s, W-4s, 1099s. They're not friggin' income tax forms. They're estate and gift tax forms. They're telling you straight up. So you know what you do? You pull rank and you become a living beneficiary. Tell the trustee to do his dadgum job. Hey, but we do it with love. It's all good. It's called the red box. Anyways, I'm getting excited. But see, I put the 2 and 2 together. This is where we live. I got irrevocable proof. So if everybody wants to see some real proof, if they're tapping to your estate, they're sucking the living beneficiary dry because the living beneficiary went missing. He's been missing from the beginning. So if you want to become alive and you want to invoke that your proper status, then you could direct the trustees to settle the account accordingly. Anyways, what the hell do
Here,
I know?
I'd like to get into the psychiatric field here.
Yep.
Yeah, again, this is Paul Levy, Dispelling Wetiko, Breaking the Curse of Evil, and he had gone through his experience, I guess, in the psychiatric system. He says, in the psychiatric system, I found myself in a place that felt truly bewitched, as if under a curse of and controlled by black magicians, where reality was inverted. One of my favorite words, the inversion of things, where reality was inverted in a way that was truly get me out of here crazy. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty of well-intentioned psychiatrists, including the ones with whom I worked. I'm not talking about individual psychiatrists. I'm talking about the underlying psychiatric system as a whole. It is important to acknowledge that in some ways, the system has evolved since the 80s. Hang on. Increasing reliance on the use of medication to address most problems. Our mental health system is an expression of the mental health, or lack thereof, of our culture. Within the psychiatric worldview, there is a consensual agreement and implicit, unreflected upon set of assumptions with reference to behaviors and modes of thinking/perceiving that are considered normal. There is a way of understanding the very nature of health and sickness, as well as fundamental ideas of who we are, that all representatives of the academy have to accept in order for them to be considered card-carrying members in good standing. There is an axiomatic set, a way of perceiving the world that has been drilled into psychiatrists' heads during their training in medical school that is required for them to become true initiates. The psychiatric system is set up to be a setup in that built into the system is the unconscious set of assumptions of materialistic science, not the least of which posits that we exist as encapsulated, separate selves, apart from the underlying field, which is nothing other than a cardinal thought form inspired by the Wetiko virus. And again, the Wetiko, it's the mind hack. In fact, for most psychiatrists, there is no concept of an underlying field of consciousness at all. Consciousness is rather understood as something that arises from matter and thus can be manipulated by material, that is, electrochemical means, via psychiatric drugs, for example. It takes an exceptional practitioner of the art of psychiatry, a true doctor of the soul, to see through the implicit materialist indoctrination they have received as part and parcel of their very conditioning and training. Built into the non-level playing field of psychiatry, into the very organization and structure of the field, to the extent that self-reflection is not part of its practice, is the hidden abuse of power, which also gets played out, once internalized, within traumatized psychiatric patients' heads. And I'm almost done. It takes more than good intentions for a psychiatrist to not unwittingly become an instrument for the system to play out its unconscious destructive aspect. A true healer knows that they are meeting themselves time and time again in their patients.
Yeah, well,
I thought that was interesting because he has this whole idea about he himself is a wounded healer. In other words, you must go through that experience to bring it to the world.
Yep.
Much like a shaman.
Yeah, well,
what do you say, John? Oh, go ahead, Peter.
Well, like I say, the last thing they want us to do is introspection. Gee, go figure. I got to look at this. I'm going to look into the side of who I really am as a man, and then that's where I go. See, folks, that's my measuring stick. It's called the heart. It's called, and my conscience ties into the heart. Do no harm, and when I stay in that paradigm, everything works just fine. It's perfect. My world moves forward. The flow goes. Everything's good to go. But they want to put down dictates and make me think in their little small box and chemicalize my thought processes. Folks, by the way, every chemical you ingest in your body, no matter how minor you may think it is, it changes up the physiology of the body. Gee, go figure. And when it changes up the physiology of the body, then you're not right-minded anymore. That's the point. Anyway, that was my 2 cents. I got a lot of respect today.
I just want to sort of tag team this part onto that. He what was that? You know what?
622.
I looked up earlier. I looked up earlier when you were talking, Peter, and it was 5:22.
Isn't that bizarre?
I think we should.
Folks,
yeah.
Well,
we should
later.
share this. Do you want to get into this later or now?
Yeah. No. Well. Yeah. Matter of fact, why don't we? While it's on the plate, let's deal with it now.
Sure. 22 is a number that has been appearing just at a scary, just a lot. I can't even find words to express it. But for both you, Peter, and for me, and whenever I look up, it's 122, it's 522, it's 622, it's 222, and I understood. All right, fine, I'll look up. What's 22? It's the number of the master builder.
Yep.
It's a master number in numerology, and it's the number of the builder. And I think that's a very interesting idea, because within that word is so much of what you are actually doing.
Yep.
And what I'm doing too. So
beautiful.
Let me get back into this here.
Sure.
So again, this is Paul Levy, and he was saying the psychiatric system turned out to be one of the crucibles for my awakening, in that it gave me a living experience of how Wetiko, or the mind hack, the psychic virus, has incorporated itself into the mental health system. I was ultimately dreamed up in my interaction with the psychiatric system of having to choose between, number 1, stepping more fully into my power by staying connected to and standing for my experience, or 2, taking on their version of who I was, giving away my power, dissociating from myself, and falling into self-deception, which is to be complicit in my own victimization and become my own abuser. So we talk a lot about consent, and we talk a lot about freedom going hand in hand with responsibility. We've spoken of this arrested state of development that we have acquiesced to.
That we are a little bit, Michelle, too.
Sure, go ahead, John.
Where we are at this, it seems like where no one's progressing, and we're just getting, almost a Simpson mentality. You've got, definitely the people that are waking up, and but it seems that the people that are waking up also know that there's certain things that you have to get rid of in your diet. Number big one for me was toothpaste with sodium fluoride.
Yes.
People don't realize that that is a really, really bad poison that you use 2-3 times a day. We have this quantum machine called a brain, which is basically the antenna to the world. You know what I mean? And there are parts in our brain that absorb energies and stuff like that. And sodium fluoride is known for calcifying like your pineal gland and all this kind of stuff. It's just basically one of your biggest antennas for being able to connect to what you truly are, to have more empathy and all this kind of stuff, and it numbs you out. It's actually calcium fluoride that we're supposed to be taking, not sodium fluoride. Sodium fluoride is an actual poison. Calcium fluoride is what, our teeth is good for our teeth and all this. And this is kind of the con, that was perpetuated on us and stuff like this. And so, it really begins with, you really have to start cleaning yourself up to get to this level of being able to have clearer thought. Because I remember myself, having the I call it muddy, hazy thoughts compared to how they are now. Much older now. I was much younger then, but I wasn't avoiding stuff, like the fluorides, like the milks, like the the hormones, and like the antibiotics, and all these things. And they just add up and add up and add up, and that's where I think people really need to start, because this is a lot of information to absorb. It is a lot of higher thinking and perceptive and stuff like this, and it's almost like you got to clean out the receivers so that you can even understand
to process information. And I've been John, exactly, and I think I sort of covered that over on my site on the Medical Talks. Start with Celtic salt, sodium bicarbonate, mix it up. It starts, folks, and I've talked about this multiple times, about the aluminum buildup in the brain. You're drinking out of a damn can. You're getting chemtrails. You're getting all these buildups. You have no electromagnetic flow. The synapse between your cellular structure is not happening. So guess what? Simple methodology that they won't talk about at Big Pharma land or FDA land because they can't make no money on it. Celtic salt, grind it up. Yeah, folks, you do have to grind it up to release the 94-plus trace dense nutrients so that the electromagnetic flow can flow between the cells, okay? It's really simple, but it does actually break down the buildup of aluminum buildup in the brain. So if you're feeling slow and going, I promise you, do some Celtic salt and some sodium bicarbonate, then you'll be like Peter.
I've got
well, maybe that's a scary proposition. You won't be like Peter, okay? But folks, it starts with the body. We talk about mind, body, spirit, and they're all integral to each other. And one without the other, it's three pegs in the stool. You're missing one of your pegs, and it's not good. So this is where we're going. So this is so simple. All this stuff is simple. And I've got MP3s over at the site that are all free. Listen to what I'm saying. I could, hey, prove it to yourself. Prove me wrong. There you go. Prove me wrong. Because my mind works, I know some people say my mind's like a vault that's always closed, but that's a lie. Anyways, no, my mind is full tilt throttle. Michelle will attest to this, and a matter of fact, I scare her because I go so fast. She goes, "The machine gun man's here. He's killing me."
Machine
folks,
gun
this
or
is
off?
my speed. Yeah, this is my speed. Until I go to sleep. When I go to sleep, then hey, I don't move on. But folks, I'm trying to make a point here. These are simple methodologies that are available to everybody for pennies. Sodium bicarbonate, food grade hydrogen peroxide, Celtic salt, magnesium chloride. All these things that I speak of are chump change. Big Pharma won't talk about it, man. There's a beautiful book over on the site by Dr. Mark Serkis. It's a free download for everybody. Everybody can go get it. And this guy uncovers some really beautiful stuff, easy reading, and it will give you a lot more clarity onto what I speak. Folks, but you gotta go read it for yourself. I can't come to your house and read it for you. It's really that simple. But I have these informations. Everything I have posted over there is not busy stuff. It's not to keep your mind busy or preoccupied. It's to give you direction of flow. And that's how we operate here, with direction of flow. So on that, go to the site, have some fun, folks. Help yourself. You're going to love it. Anyways, folks, Peter's in play. He's a work in progress as usual. We are in creation mode all the time, Michael and I, and we are moving forward on different levels. And, at the end of the month, I will be moving forward to a new station. It'll be Blog Talk, but it'll be called I Am Free Will. So we'll be posting it into the calls that we complete while we're in transition. And matter of fact, we do have a call Monday night starting 7 to 9. It's called Blog Talk. It's a Blog Talk radio. It's I Am Free Will. Anyways, it'll be posted. It's also posted on privatist.me. We'll post it before the Monday call. Anyways, folks, just direction of flow. we're always in flux, trying to reach our brothers and sisters on multiple different levels. But, I'll be hanging out here till the end of the month, Tuesdays and Saturdays, so everything's fine there. And we'll be integrating a flow over to the other side of the fence, and I'll be doing Monday calls, so I'll be doing a back-to-back on Monday and Tuesday. But Monday, matter of fact, I'll be putting together an email and some information, and so this will all be posted and easy to find on the curriculum, the show, coming forward, and it'll be attached to each call underneath in the show me area. So everybody will be able to find what's going on between now and the end of the month while we make this transition. Anyways, while I'm on this page, I want to give a big shout-out to Brother Gregg because he shares the love with us all the time, and he posts Freedom Reigns over there beautifully in the spirit of things. And I'm giving giving a shout-out. I usually catch him on the front end. I got sidetracked. Anyways, go figure.
We had too many topics to discuss tonight, but yes, thank you, Gregg, at in5d.com. We appreciate your direction of flow, showing people what we're doing and where we are. Thank you very much.
Yep. And on that note, where to next? Hey, where, young Squire? Where will we go next?
I think, John, you were discussing, John. Where were you at?
Well, I was discussing was it the cleansing of the body and stuff like that.
Yes, cleansing. Yes.
And where I was going with that is when you're able to do that, and you're able to see the synchronicities a lot clearer. You're able to see how things come together and how the universe kind of parts the way for you.
Like a purification process almost,
it really,
body, mind, and spirit.
And I was going there with that because I'm looking at, I'm always doing a lot of surfing and stuff like that, and I'm seeing like all these prescriptions of antidepressants and antipsychotics and all this kind of stuff, and it's up 400%, 600%, all this kind of stuff from the year before, and we're talking 11, 12% of Americans on this stuff, and we're wondering why it's so rampant, and what's going on with all these people and stuff, and it's just
they must have told their psychiatrist that their mission in life here is to spread the message of love.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. How dare they? How dare they?
But I believe a lot of them, like I say, the most percentage of it is because of the poisoning of the foods, because of the chemical imbalances in the brain and stuff like that. Because we're not getting the minerals we're supposed to be getting anymore in our foods. We're not getting the real vitamins anymore. We're consuming all these genetically modified foods with exactly. So we really have to. This is where we need to start. We need to, get our bodies.
Start with the body. Garbage in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage out. It can't. The machine cannot function if you're feeding it all this, the high fructose corn syrup, genetically modified food products, aspartame in the gum next to the milk. I mean, folks, these are chemical excitotoxins that change up the whole structure, the cellular structure, and the electromagnetic flow of how your body's really supposed to work. Anyways,
it's to the point where food is not even food anymore.
No,
exactly.
It's some nightmare of the dream of what food used to be.
It's Frankenfood. It's Frankenfood.
Yes, and as we develop an awareness, we become more discerning in what we feed our mind and what we feed our machine, also our body, our vehicle. And our spirit also. It's almost like a purification process. You just become more discriminating, and I think discriminating is a good word.
Yep.
There are a lot of positive connotations to that word for me. I think discriminating is a word that somehow got co-opted, and discriminating. Oh, that's bad. Almost like the. What is it? The politically correct sort of mindset.
Yeah.
I've got issues with that. When I'm told not to use the words that I would ordinarily use to describe someone or something, that's a mind hack, and I will not be performing my own censorship on myself. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and that's what I tell them, to have a big cup. See, it's all good. I worked it out real well when
big cup.
You know what? Hey folks, I'm going to share. I'm going to let you in on the big cup. I have to let you. Matter of fact, we're going to do this. We have to do this because I want my brothers and sisters to share the love, because this is a beautiful thing, and you can actually pull it up on the website. This is my reference point. It's an old Army dog holding a big canteen. And he goes, how about a nice big cup of shut the bleep up, okay? You know what the word is, so I won't use the adjective. So anyways, folks, when I was working in pipe fitting and stuff, I'd get some guys coming over to me and trying to give me their skewed view, their world according to GARP BS. And then I would ask them straight up in the morning, folks, this went viral at the job site of 1500. You're going to love this. This is beautiful, because this guy, he's bantering on, and I look straight at him. He's got this cup of coffee in his hand. I said, brother, did you get your big cup this morning? He goes, yeah, I got it right here. I said, no, did you get your big cup? He goes, what do you mean? Yeah, I said, your big cup of shut the bleep up, because he was giving me a skewed view and his world according to GARP, and he looked at me like a deer in headlights. He didn't know how to react. He didn't know how to respond. But, folks, it really works. And so I give everybody, so when I talk about this big cup, now you understand where the big cup is coming from. So there, I let you in on the joke, all right? So if anybody gives you any crap, folks, and they're bantering on, you ask them if they had their big cup this morning. Well, what do you mean by big cup? Yeah, your big cup of shut the bleep up. You know, it's all good. Folks, I'm just going to show the love. But, you know, folks, they loved it so much. I had a friend of mine. Her name is Leanne. We were doing a barbecue, and it was Father's Day. I just moved up here. And she went out and got a vase, and then she had a handle put on it, and then she said, how about a nice big cup of shut the bleep up, and she gave it to me for Father's Day. Now, that's a person who gets it. Hey, folks, you got to love it when they show you the love. They give you a real big cup. I mean, I was laughing my butt off, folks. See, you have to have a sense of humor in life, because this is how you get through all this insanity.
No kidding.
So everybody knows about the big cups. So now that I rest my case, so y'all, however many listeners are on tonight, share the big cup, share the love.
Yeah, because it really can't be all doom and gloom and just white knuckling all these issues and stuff. I mean, look, levity. I love laughing. I love finding the humor in things, and I know I see things differently from other people sometimes, because my mind goes places, and I think we have to.
Yeah, my mind goes to places never gone before. It's like Star Trek,
Well, that's what we're here to. We're not here to scare anybody or anything else. We're just trying to educate people, so that at least they know what's going on.
We're not running on fear, brother. We're running on love. Hey, this is
exactly.
Folks, if you're not getting this memo, it's really, this is about the love. That's when you know you're alive. Like I say, you live life on purpose. You share. I go out of my way once a day to find someone who I can make a connection with, to make a difference in their life in just even a small, minute way. And I did it yesterday. I'm not going to tell you what I did, but I did it yesterday. And you know what? It just warmed me to the very core of my soul, because this poor girl was having such a bad day, and I could have made it an issue, but I didn't make it an issue, and it's like she was in a state of shock because I turned it upside down on its head with love, and that's the beauty. See, when you do that, you blow their minds, because you come in from a pure heart with pure intent, and it's really, people aren't used to that. They're not, because the world has grown so damn cold. So, folks, find somebody you can go live life on purpose with, and affect somebody. If everybody just did one little thing once a day, found somebody who they could make just a little difference to put a smile, or, folks, we can all do this. This is your humanity. This is how you show you're real. This is how you get. What goes around comes around. You give it, and it comes back. That's the point I've been trying to say for many, many shows.
And it's interesting, if when we get to share these experiences, when you see an act of selflessness or of love or of giving or of helping someone, when we share these stories, it gets into people's consciousness. And I'm going to come back to this point again. The brain does not know the difference between what is going on a flat screen in front of it and what is actually happening in the world.
Yep.
So it's very important. This has to do with awareness and consciousness. So, instead of listening to or watching the evening news with, my God, just natural horrors and terrors going on, and serial killer this and death that, and break in here, and just I don't want to hear those things. I'm aware they happen. Good.
Yep.
Fine. I don't turn away from them and stick my head in the sand, because let's face it, that makes me very vulnerable.
Yep.
But rather just have an awareness of it. But you know what? Turn to those things that remind us of who we are and what we're here to do. So, I don't know, John, does this make sense?
Well, yeah, exactly. It's all, like I say, a mind hack, like you say. If we're not at least aware of it, that's the first step. It's just
Yes.
like anything, we have to. Some people come here to be blissfully unaware, I should say, and kudos to them. And they'll live their life how they wish to live. And the people usually listening to our show are people that want to go to the next level, want to understand what this is, want to understand a little bit more, searching for more truth and stuff like this. So this is our journey, and this is what we're here to do. And it's a beautiful thing. It's life is it's amazing when you really take a step back and just to see how much potential we do have.
Potential. Yes, people
yeah.
need to know about the possibilities. People need to know about the explosion of potential that is right there in this very moment in front of them right now.
Exactly.
That everything is compressed into this very moment, right here, right now, and that. And they need to be given permission. People need to have permission somehow to allow for the possibility of good and love and joy, and all the things that have been co-opted and subverted and there's that word inverted and put before us to be celebrated and worshipped. No, rather with my consciousness, I know how I'm voting. I know where I'm putting it. Because what I think, I create. It is not the material. Let me give just maybe an image that people can hold on to. Maybe a motorboat going across the water creates a wake. It is not the wake that propels the boat. In other words, my past does not dictate who I am.
Right.
It is a part of me. I have arrived at this stage. Certain points have lined up, and I understand that. But it does not have power over me. Does that make sense?
Correct.
Well, exactly.
That's an excellent analogy, because what I did in my youth isn't what I am as an adult, as a man today. Okay, where my heart was then is not where it was. So here in the now, today, this is all I have anyways. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow's not here. All I got is in the minute. Like I say, if they drone strike my ass 5 minutes from now, hey, Peter's a vapor. It's all good. But he lived to his potential up to the end. And it's ironic that you use the word potential, and it's actually an electronical term, potentiometer. So, folks, you can go look that up. Hey, just a neat little thing. Matter of fact, in school, they used to tell me, Peter's not living up to his potential. Yeah, according to who? Your world-skewed view, according to freaking GARP? Yeah, Peter's not because I wasn't kowtowing to the friggin' scam, folks. I wasn't buying the BS. I wasn't buying the false paradigm. Sort of like Catholicism, when you go to genuflect and light the proverbial votive candles. I mean, come on, folks. I don't need a freaking middleman to tell me what time it is. And
not the candles.
Oh, yeah, votive candles. Give me a break. Anyways, folks, I'm well-versed in Catholicism. I was raised in it, and then I got my mind right at 13 and got excommunicated effectively in one fell swoop because I challenged authority. You know what? Because, your false paradigm didn't meet mine, but you gave me the answer by a non-answer because you couldn't come at it with a logical thought progression and tell me why I had to have this middleman who puts his pants on the same way as me as a mediator in the middle of my world to my creator. So, without the proper answer, have your big cup. Anyway.
I was waiting for it.
But you see,
okay, now
Peter,
we can go with the big cup because everybody's in on the joke. It's beautiful.
You see, Peter, how all that, what you consider negative and stuff like that has propelled you into this life now where you are so much more spiritually aware, or in the love frequency and stuff like that because of what you witnessed when you were a child and what you went through. And I went through the whole Catholic thing and all that kind of stuff too. And it seems like you either get mind
hacked, yeah.
or you wake up and go, whoa, there's something wrong with this, and then you end up finding the truth.
Right, right. Religion, folks, and I'm going to go here. I don't give a crap if anybody doesn't like it. Religion's just emptying the vessel. It's emptying the vessel into somebody else's domain and not taking responsibility to introspect, i.e. look into yourself to find the true you. They don't want you to look at you. They want to have you dependent upon somebody else. You know what? Kiss my rosy red butt. I don't need nobody else dictating me or telling me what time it is and how their poop doesn't stink and whatever. Folks, I'm not there. Neither should you be. Hey, welcome to my world. Hey, it's a beautiful place, though, folks. Living life on purpose is a hugely beautiful thing. And come on over to my house, and we'll have some coffee and some chicken wings or something.
You were a sailor or something, weren't you, at some point, Peter?
Yeah, but no. Okay, let's not even go there, see, because, actually they called me a scrunt, half squid, half grunt, because I spent 8 years in camouflage, because the Marine Corps doesn't have a medical department, so they utilize Navy personnel. So I was going through identity crisis because I knew I signed a contract that said U.S. Navy somewhere, but I ended up in camouflage for 8 years. I said, how does this work? I'm going through identity crisis. I even told the colonel.
So even back then, Peter, even back then you were straddling two worlds.
Hell yeah.
So this is familiar territory with you.
Yeah, just call me Gumby, flexibility. Anyways, folks, this has been a great show. Beautiful direction of flow, folks, and this is where we live. And we just want to share the love with all of you. We want to bring everybody forward. This is the objective. This is not a mind hack. The mind hack has already occurred. We're going to remove the mind hack, and you need to go to some debriefing and deprogramming and decommissioning. See, folks, these are Navy terms. You need to decommission your flight status and get off the train to La La Land or the plane to La La Land and come over to the land of reality, the land of truth.
And anyway. Peter, I just want to mention that we're not here to teach anyone. Rather, we're here to show possibilities to people, to show potentials to people, to show them a different way. And those who see something of value in it will have the eyes to see it and the ears to hear it. But it's not. We're not taking over for any other system. We're not teaching.
No.
None of that here.
No. Yeah, folks. The only transition that you're going to get is the one between your ears. It's up to you.
That's right.
I can't crawl in your brain and give you my brain. Not only that, you'd probably blow up after 24 hours or less, anyways, because my brain's always a running. It'll scare you.
I think a lot sooner than that, my friend.
Anyways, but hey, my brain's a happy place. I like where I live in it. It works for me. It's a comfortable coat. But I know most people's brain wouldn't be able to hang out with me for too long. Oh my goodness.
Well, that's where it starts, isn't it? You really, truly gotta love and like yourself. People forget that. A lot of people don't like themselves because of the mind hack and stuff, and the TV, and look like this, think like this, and we just gotta forget all that and remember that we are amazing creatures here. You know what I mean? And that we have to love ourselves because that's where it begins. You can't love anything else unless you love yourself first. Well, start with liking yourself first.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Well, they teach us to find all the flaws in ourselves, folks. Look at our daughters. Look at the world. Look at my goodness. My poor family, folks. They're stuck on that side of the fence, and I got to admit it. I'm in two diverse paradigms in the same household, but we successfully coexist because Daddy is the bull in the china shop, and nobody tells Daddy what time it is. So I show the love, but so they do their paradigm, I do mine. Anyways, but folks.
Peter, before we go into our closeout, could I just I told you about that Bill Hicks video that came back into my awareness. Could I just read that through really quickly?
Sure can.
Okay. This Bill Hicks was an American comedian, and he has this bit called
great.
"It's Just." I know. It's called "It's Just a Ride," and I want to read this out loud. The world is like a ride in an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. And the ride goes up and down and around, and it has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they've begun to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they've come back to us, and they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride. And we kill those people. Shut him up. We have a lot invested in this ride. Shut him up. Look at my furrows of worry. Look at my big bank account and my family. This just has to be real. It's just a ride. But we always kill those good guys who try and tell us that. You ever notice that? And let the demons run amok. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because it's just a ride. And we can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice. No effort, no work, no job, no savings of money. A choice, right now, between fear and love. The eyes of fear wants you to put a bigger lock on your door, buy guns, close yourself off. The eyes of love instead see us all of us as one.
Yep.
Yep. And then he goes on a little bit more, but that's the main part. And I think it's just so apt. It's a choice. It's a choice.
Yep. Yeah. I got off that ride. Folks, here's some irony. I'll share this little parallel. I remember back in the 70s, there was a commercial. It was actually early 80s, more or less. Is it live or is it Memorex? It's the same analogy. Is it live or is it Memorex? It was video equipment or audio taping or whatever. Is it live or is it Memorex? I remember that from the early 80s and late 70s. So, yeah, folks, it's live if you're alive. We're going to remove, the blinders and everybody gets to move forward. But, like I say, it all starts with us, folks, and a little introspection, looking into your heart, looking into your mind and your soul. But, the physical parameters, folks, we can help you fix that. It's so simple. Matter of fact, it's so simple, most people just don't get it. That's what blows me away. It just can't be that easy. 2 + 2 = 4. What do you mean? I was looking for a calculus equation. Well, it's really, really easy, folks. It is 2 + 2 = 4. And I always come back to that because it's simple concepts. They just don't want us thinking outside the box. They don't want us looking at it for what it really is. They would rather busy you with these complexities so that your mind can get so busy that you go into meltdown mode and you just, it just ain't worth it. I'm going to go back to sleep. You know what, folks? That's not where the train that I ride goes. So, anyways, this has been a great show today, folks. And I appreciate Michelle and John helping me each week do some heavy lifting. Because, folks, I don't want to be the ranter for 2 hours. So I want people to, if it wasn't for Michelle and John bringing perspective, and it brings it back to ground, and I talk about ground because you got to neutralize the circuit. You don't want it open-ended. You want to go to ground. And until you go to ground, all your energy is being literally leaked out and going nowhere. And I know a little bit about electronics because I did cable electronics for about 10 years. Anyways, folks, by the way, yes, blogtalkradio.com, I Am Free Will, March 18th, Monday, 7 to 9. Come on and hang out at the house. We're going to have a good time. We're stepping in, and yes, I'm going to play Geddy Lee's song, Free Will, for everybody. And if you haven't read the lyrics on that song, folks, it's got major applicability. So I'm going to take you to another paradigm, but it's going to be a beautiful paradigm. It's going to be the correct paradigm. Nothing but truth spoken here. And it comes down to thy own self be true. And yes, it will be in the spirit of things, so I didn't want it to be a far leap as I'm making a transition. But yes, I'll be here Tuesdays and Saturdays till the end of the month, but I am transitioning and doing a Monday night call while I'm making the transition, and that's at blogtalkradio.com/I am free will, and I'm going to post it on my Talkie Talks from now till the end of the month and give a list. I'll be typing it up today and making sure that Zach, my brother, gets it posted in the proper spot under the Show Me section under these YouTubes he creates for Sister Deatra and Freedom Reigns Radio. So it will be...
Yes, Zach from Verdict Productions.
Right, Verdict Productions. Yeah, he does good work. He's the one who helped me make my 12-minute video on debt termination. Folks, it's the nickel tour. Simple. You didn't have to listen to Peter rant for 2 hours. It's 12 minutes of not so much ranting, but direction of flow, so your mind can understand that you've been scammed, and you have the right to do a counteroffer and remove the presumption. That's all you got to do, and it really works. Anyways, on that, it is 7 o'clock, folks. The witching hour's here. We will catch you on Tuesday, but I'll catch you also on Monday over at my house, the new house at blogtalkradio.com. I am free will. Folks, have a great night, and we'll catch you on the rebound. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Brother Johnny. We love
You're
you.
welcome.
We love everybody out there. Michelle, do we not?
Well, of course we do. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great night.
Remember, you're the perfect you.
That's right. You. EWE type or what?
Next
right,
show,
folks.
guys. Next show.
Thank you. All right. Well, we're out, folks. We'll catch you Tuesday and Monday. I'm confused. Oh, my goodness.
All right.
Okay. Exit stage left. Boo Boo's got to go have a picnic basket. All right. Bye-bye, folks. Have a great night.
Good night.
Bye.